Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade in the
Shade in the
City.
City.
I am your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are closing out. We thought it would only be right. Don't get me twisted. We definitely didn't necessarily want to be here, but we love y'all, Shade Squad. So we thought we would come back
Yeah,
and
we
close
wanted to be
out.
here for y'all, but not for 90 days.
Right. We really didn't want to do it for 90 days because we ain't got much, but we're gonna give y'all a little recap of part 3 of the tell-all. As we know, season don't get me lying, I think it's 5 or 6 of Before the 90 Days starts tonight. So you'll see us circle the block in a couple days with that review and give y'all and I'm actually thinking, y'all drop in the comments, I'm actually thinking about doing that live and just getting that out the way and then getting y'all comments on what y'all think about these couples. But anyway, that's just a thought right now. But y'all drop in the comments. Let me know if you want it as live, if y'all prefer it as recorded. Let me know. Anyway, if you haven't already, Shade Squad, make sure you hit the like button
And the subscribe button.
and let's get into it and let's wrap up this last crazy season of 90 Day the other way and let's get shady. So Chris is telling us all this fable about this ex-boyfriend who's text Jamie saying that he had, naked photos of Chris. And she says that she went and kicked his bedroom door down and confronted him about the situation. Again, that's why I said fable, tall tale, whatever you want to call it. It was giving lies.
Okay.
The lies.
Listen, what I'm upset about is, okay, because Gabe has been butting in everybody's business this whole damn tell-all. And supposedly he don't like Chris. Veronica and Tim was out there, right? And who gives a damn if her busting in the damn door is a lie or not? Why did y'all not confront her like y'all did Jamie about whether this is the truth or not?
Right.
Because nobody said, okay, but did you do it? Where are these pictures coming from? Why are they old?
Well,
What?
I feel like my ear to the YouTube streets, I feel like I heard production had told them like basically, I guess like don't pick on her, like she's emotionally fragile or something like that. I think they told the other cast members that. So I think
Is that why
that's why you see them not
that's why
really
Jamie took the dig she did?
what? Oh, yes, I think so. Because I
Oh.
think that they said like, "Hey guys, she's emotional. She's like not stable, whatever." And Chris can't not feel good, and So I don't know, but that's just word on the curb, and it makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense because clearly I think maybe they got that memo after Gabe was talking all his shit, because I was waiting for Gabe to go in. I'm like, as opinionated as you are and the way you coming through with these fire questions,
Right.
you did not have none for Chris.
And this is the one you don't really care for.
I was mad, but that actually makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What the hell they brought
So
Veronica and Tim out for her then for, if they couldn't even go in?
Tim does say he thinks one of them is lying, and Veronica says she's team Jamie because Chris ghosted her for 20 days. And when anybody does that, that's just basically to be expected.
She said, you ain't married, you ain't ever met in person. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see you again. We don't go together.
Right. So then they bring Chris's mom out, and she talks about how she thought Jamie was using Chris as a sugar mama. Chris says her mother was sending Jamie money on PayPal because she didn't have one. And then
thousands of dollars.
Jamie pulls out her receipts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let y'all know. It ain't, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Whatever she's saying, I ain't get it. Okay. Then Chris talks about, or she gets emotional. No, I'm sorry. And then Chris says that she doesn't have any receipts because the bank account that she had is now closed because
first of all, you can still request You can still request your statement. So that's
Again, it's the pussyfooting and bullshit for me.
backpedaling and pussy popping.
Right, the backpedaling pussy popping. Then they show clips, you know, of course, of them going at it over their
All I
finances.
thought was, don't that sound suspicious?
Chris gets emotional and Debbie tries to call out Jamie. And we saw Chris working so hard, but never saw Jamie working at all. Debbie, mind your business. Because
Yeah, I love Debbie, but
yeah, but this is the time that you
you
need to mind your
you
business.
sit down and shut your mouth, please.
You save it for Danielle, because I could appreciate you in that moment. Save that for Danielle. And Chris has nothing to say to Jamie, basically, and Jamie tells her she's concerned about her mental health, and that's kind of how they end that.
And
I
that
love
makes
when
sense.
Jamie did that.
And that makes sense as to what you said. Now, what got me was, okay, Tim made a very good point, and I normally don't even touch on what the hell they saying.
Was Tim wearing mascara?
He always does.
Oh,
yeah, you don't remember his season where
I do, but I don't feel
considers
like he was
himself
wearing mascara
a
then.
metro, absolutely, where he considers himself a metro man.
I knew he was getting his eyebrows done. I didn't know he was okay.
He likes to be pretty.
Okay.
So I normally don't even touch on what Tim and Veronica say, really, but I do feel like this part 3, they did say a little bit more. It made a little bit more sense. But Tim, as far as whose side he's on, he said he's caught in the middle. Because he does believe, you know, Chris is coming up with a whole bunch of convenient excuses as to why she doesn't have receipts, but also believes that you don't keep a girl like Jamie for 2 years with $1,700. I said, well, he's making some good points.
I guess he is.
That you never even met, or listen, I ain't saying it's 7,000, but I do believe I can agree that it might have been more than 1,700.
Okay.
So they brought out Ahmed and Nicole and Muhammad. You know, he says he thinks the reason why they had a lot of arguments because they really didn't know each other. They got married. I don't remember how long it was, but it was super quick. You know, she didn't know Egypt and he didn't know America, and I guess now they feel like they do. Now his brother says basically anytime she needs help, or, you know, he is her brother first. Okay, and he'll help her fix Mahmoud. Nicole, apparently to him, is always right, I guess. So they rolled back a clip to
I can see that, but then when they were okay.
So they rolled back a clip to the time where Nicole and Mahmoud got into their, you know, huge argument, and Ahmed had to intervene. Nicole feels that she took a lot of
more
things
like an
personally.
altercation, but if you want to say argument.
Why was it an altercation? Oh, because she pushed him?
And the way he tried to snatch her up, like, oh, we going, you chill out. We in the middle of shit. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna use the other A word, but it was an altercation.
I guess. So Nicole feels that, you know, she took a lot of things personally that she shouldn't have, but they've grown a lot since then. And she references what she's wearing. She's like, I got my hoe, you know, shoulder out. Technically, a whole boobie could slip out or something. Like, you know, I'm free. Then Danielle came in, made it all about herself.
Of course.
And, you know, as per usual, you know, basically, I understand what you're going through because I feel like I'm going through the same thing with Johan. And, you know, I don't know if it's just going to get better before it gets worse, or, you know, if he's just not going to change at all. Lady, who are you talking about? You talking about Nicole or you? Okay, you need to worry about your situation because you got a lot going on. At least she ain't out here bringing exes and stuff around her man. And listen, just
and look, one thing I could give, she might not be respectful about no clothes, but she's respectful to her man.
And trust me, one is worse than the other. Okay. This ain't the Bible where a sin is not. Look, they all the same. No. One is worse than the other. Okay. Right. So then Sean brought up, you know, him chatting with another girl, and apparently Mahmoud and his brother think this is funny. No, they're Kiki and Ha-Ha.
Yeah, they really were. And I was like,
Nicole, if you wanted to get up and walk off the stage, this would have been the time to do it. Okay. So Nicole gave Mahmoud the floor and let him talk on it. She's like, that's your business. You go. And he said, it was a girl who sells TVs, and he knows that he shouldn't have asked how old she was, but he did. Everybody's confused as to why this man is laughing. And Nicole says, she thinks it's because that
It's a
they're
nervous
embarrassed.
laughter.
Yeah, they said it's a cultural thing. They laugh even when they die. I would hope not, especially if it's whatever. So Gabe told him that he thinks he is so scummy, and in the words of his wife, he has everything in a man that she would never want, and he doesn't think that he'll ever change. He told Nicole she need to go on and get a divorce and find somebody that has the same views as her.
I wonder why he didn't have the same smoke for like Johan.
I think because Johan didn't need it. Johan came on there like he had his
Or
mind.
even Rishi. I just feel like
I think he gave Rishi some smoke. He gave Rishi some smoke for sure. But it was in part 2. I think he called him a coward and all types of stuff. He had smoke for Rishi.
Okay.
So yeah, then Ahmed jumped in and he was like, who is he changing for? Changing for him? I mean, changing for Nicole or changing for you? I said, Ahmed, yeah, stand up for your baby brother. Okay.
Right.
So Gabe said that, they don't have the same views, and Nicole actually agreed. She says, that he's Orthodox and she's not. So Sean asked him basically how this is going to go when you move to the U.S. As far as the clothes go. And he said, he'll keep on asking whether she does it or not is up to her, but he will keep on asking. And I thought that was a pretty good way to answer that question.
Right.
Now, Jamie said respectfully, if you're Muslim,
I did like what Jamie said. I can feel what she was saying though.
Why are you dressed inappropriately for your culture? And she said because she's not Orthodox and she doesn't believe clothes have anything to do with religious beliefs, and she's going to continue to do whatever she wants, and she don't give what nobody thinks about it. I said, oh,
right.
Oh, what is all this smoke coming from? At least she said respectfully.
Right.
Like respectfully, I don't fuck either. Okay, respectfully,
right. I guess because Nicole really sat there quiet and didn't really weigh in on anybody's situation.
But nobody said anything to her. Now that one person said something to you, and you didn't have none of this smoke for Gabe, who was coming for you and your husband. Now the one person that says respectfully and asked the question that everybody and their mama want to know.
That's true.
Is I don't get what nobody think. Honey, stop it.
Nicole seen many of our reviews. She's upset.
So really then everybody started going in on Mahmoud. She had no smoke for them now. Basically they started calling him fake, talking about all of a sudden he's being nice because his brother's out there. And he said, no, I'm being nice and respectful because my wife got upset earlier and I don't want her sitting here crying no more.
You stupid.
So look, I was like, it's about to be a fire up in here with all this smoke. Jesus.
You're done. So they bring out Monica to confront Gabe about how they haven't really spoken since Columbia. Monica and Gabe debate the last time that they've talked. Gabe feels they speak every day because they send memes, and Monica obviously has a difference of opinion. So Gabe says that he's non-confrontational and that he didn't address his sister not being at the wedding. So this whole time they've been sending memes and not really referencing what happened. Okay, that's not weird. They show footage of the breakdown of their relationship. Monica says she didn't show up because he said she's the common denominator in the downfall of most of his relationships. Monica said she wasn't,
No. In all his failed relationships.
Oh, in all his failed relationships. Okay. I think that's a lot of weight to put on someone. And Monica basically says that no, that those are your relationships. And she said she wasn't going to put herself through that. She was triggered.
So I can agree that that's a lot to put on someone, but I feel like it wasn't worded that way. But I felt like Monica kind of gave herself that title also.
I'm gonna give you that. Monica can be a lot. I do agree with the rest of the cast members that I think that regardless, even if you felt a certain type of way, everybody could agree that you should have sucked that shit up. You were making it about you. And
Yeah.
I think Isabel said that, like, you wanted to make this day somehow about you, whether it be throwing a tantrum. Um, we learned that apparently there wasn't a lot of communication from Gabe, which apparently had, which
I
I
think he
said,
said
I think this
I think he
whole
said
issue is really
he said I could have
communication.
even got shot, had my arm broke. I would have still been at your wedding.
True, but I think that I said this in one review. I don't think anybody's really beefing with each other. I think it's Gabe in the breakdown of his communication. I think that Monica feels a little bit jealous because the communication is dropping off a lot more because he is with Isabel. And especially when you're not communicating at all. And I'm supposed to be in a wedding that you're just now telling me about. I'm supposed to be like your best friend or whatever. It's just,
Well,
I don't know. But if here's my thing. If you're getting married, even if you don't live here, even if we
our
don't,
dynamic is not the same though.
even if we don't
I
talk
was just about
every
to say,
day,
no,
there's
no,
no way you're gonna say, hey, by the way, sit me down and say, hey, bitch, I'm getting married, and I'll be like,
no.
great, congratulations. If I gotta be like, am I in the wedding? That's the first of all, that's first problem.
Okay, first of all, our dynamic is not the same. And I noticed this during the episode. First of all, let's point out the fact that they don't both think that they're best friends.
Okay, that's true.
Okay. She thinks that Gabe is her best friend. Gabe does not feel the same way. He does not call Monica his best friend. They have their history of their relationship is totally different when they explain it. Gabe feels that this was somebody that's constantly opinionated, constantly that talked down on him, constantly fought with him. And Monica thinks that this is her best friend, that they tell each other secrets and they confide in each other. It's totally different. Okay, so she's expecting something from Gabe that you would not get from someone who's not your best friend.
That's true.
Now, let's not get it twisted. I do agree as far as the wedding goes with my future wife wants you as a part of her wedding party. Her mom is making a dress for you. That definitely should have been communicated 100%. But when we're talking about my relationship and you've even admitted that you are the downfall common denominator for my failed relationships, but for some reason you're getting upset about it now. Why am
He
I
was
going
very
to
emotional.
why am I going to share that information with you? I'm not going to be open with you about my relationship. I'm not going to communicate with you about my relationship because every time I do, I get all this negative bullshit that comes along with it. And anything I say, even though everybody has problems in the relationship, any problem I mention to you is going to be magnified times 10. And then you're not going to like my wife and wife. I'm saying wife, not girlfriend. You're not going to like my wife and it's going to cause problems. So I think yes, there's a communication problem, but I think he is caught in the middle as to what he can and cannot communicate.
Well,
But
that is a
I also
breakdown for
think
y'all.
that their relationship is not the same for the two of them.
Well, Gabe does go across the room to console her. Um, and basically Isabel tries to explain to her that she had a plan for her to be in the wedding. She was going to be one of her bridesmaids. Her mom had made a dress for her. Again, Monica said she didn't know any of this because it wasn't
And you
communicated
know
to
what?
her.
Even that, okay, listen, even that. Yes, I do believe if she left it up to Gabe, then Gabe should have communicated it, right? But I would have thought, and I'm really not trying to take the heat off of Gabe, but I would have thought, okay, since you want to have a good relationship with his sister, and this was clearly, I mean, this was open arms right here. I would have thought that she would have told her herself. She would have loved to see her reaction. Hey, would you love to be a part of my wedding party? My mom's even going to make you a dress. I would have thought that Isabel wanted to communicate that to her herself. But she said she didn't. Apparently this was left up to Gabe. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is somebody that you just met, but you know that this would basically show you having open arms to them and open arms to a relationship with them.
She should have, because she was like, oh, that I think that would have been a nice icebreaker for them. So I agree.
Backstage, Okay, Jen said that she had a tidal wave of emotion. Okay,
She sure
and
did.
she got super upset. She decided to call Rishi, told him his mother, and he needs to talk to her about that, because if she ever talks to her like that again, they are done talking. They will never speak. Which honestly, she was upset, but you can't control nobody's mama. Basically, he apologizes for his mom, but there ain't really much more he can do. He said he'll talk to his mama. But everybody in the next room is over there eavesdropping on her whole conversation. So everybody's called back out to the stage, and everybody came out except for Jen. So Rishi explained the conversation, and he breaks down that she started crying, and everybody, and apparently he started crying too. I didn't remember seeing him cry, but everybody can appreciate his empathy. So when she
I
came
didn't
back
really
out,
see him crying either. He kept wiping his eyes till they got real red.
I didn't see him cry until he was actually on stage, but whatever. Sean asked Jen, where does their relationship stand? And she says she doesn't know if this is something they can move past. And, she has her own stuff to deal with right now to, have to worry about his family accepting her. What?
I bet money if Rishi comes back and she tries to get him to America, he probably thinks he's gonna come here and be an actor. Just I'm just saying.
I mean, with them crying skills right on point.
Right. He's working on them skills.
He just might be.
Trust me, y'all. I'm putting it in the universe for Rishi. Watch what I tell you.
So then backstage, Jen is talking to Gabe and says, she doesn't know where this relationship is going to end up, but she's not letting opportunities pass her by. And she already got a potential phone number of somebody's son.
And we all know it's
Debbie's son. And she's just listing all the positive, potential attributes of this possible relationship that, of dating him. So I don't know, Rishi might be out because he seemed to like her, she seemed to like him. I don't know. Do they live far from each other?
She's in Oklahoma. He's in, I forgot.
They in Georgia, ain't they?
Georgia, yeah.
Georgia.
Is in Bubba, Georgia.
Well, I mean, she willing to fly all the way to India, so Georgia ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and jump for her. At least she'll get there in one day.
I'll take a bus, plane, train, a car.
What?
All right. Now we jump into Danielle and Johan, and this really was the meat and potatoes of the part 3. I guess this is what they were waiting for, what we were all waiting for all season.
This is why we couldn't skip the part 3.
Right. Johan found his cojones. Okay. Now, Danielle says that.
If you want to call it that.
I call it that.
I feel like it was a little bit of manipulation as well, but
it was. So Danielle says that, some days her marriage is a 20 and some days it's a -5, while Johan says that sometimes it's an 8 and sometimes it's a 0 on a scale of 1 to 10. That's what they were supposed to be going on. Now, Danielle thinks that their biggest issue is communication. Johan thinks it's trust. And he admits that he doesn't quite trust Danielle, and she really doesn't trust him either. Now, she says she's not really done with Johan, although she said she was. They replay their footage, and Danielle gets emotional about Johan embarrassing her in front of his family. Johan doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. And Tim and Debbie both co-sign for Johan and say basically what you did was disrespectful. It was before his birthday. And I don't think I would have been hurt if I was Danielle. I also don't know if I would have done the same things Danielle did. However, in that situation, I have a person who is like that and don't let you go just because you want them to, or just because they may sleep next to you. That don't mean that whatever you did a couple days before that they forgot. So I definitely understood where Danielle was coming from, because she thought, oh, I'm doing something nice to make it better. And he still ain't gotten over it.
I can understand not being able to separate the two. That's what Tim was talking about. He's not able to separate the two, and you did it right before his birthday. And he said like basically his emotions would have carried into that. I get all that. I'm not saying he had to show her all this super emotion and appreciation, but I think it would have been still nice to even just say thank you. because she literally spent money to have this, rent out this place, have it catered, and we know the situation with the cake and everything like that. I just think a simple thank you would have gone a long way.
Well, that also
Everything that
goes
was
to show
going
you,
on.
Johan also feels entitled, which makes me feel like he really, I think the moment she decided she was staying in DR, it was like, well, I mean, first of all, we already knew she made more money, but the fact that now you're going to stay in DR, I'm trying to be a man, come to America, come and work and be the provider, even though you may have to be for a while. But no, if you're going to drop foot in DR, then we're going to play the same game we was playing when you was in America, and you're going to take care of me.
Well, that's also taking a chance too, because you don't know if he's trying to come to the US and be a man and be a provider.
That's true.
You're not even really trying it here.
Well, we'll get there, but yeah, that's the only thing about that situation. Anyway, so basically they bring out Taylor, and this is when things hit the first of all, Danielle says she's a rare breed, and I was like, a rare breed of what? Anyway, of
Yeah, because most women wouldn't
selfishness.
bring their exes around their husband,
Mm.
especially if their husband wasn't for it. You're definitely a rare breed.
Right. So Veronica tries to point out that her bringing Taylor around basically hurt Johan, and she needs to acknowledge that. Um, and Danielle said that, Johan has to decide who her friends are, then that's a problem for her. She's basically not getting off her high horse. She said, I am who I am.
And everybody's telling her, like, you are married now. You both have say so in what goes on
Right.
in this relationship and what's disrespectful and what's respectful. Like, it's not all about you anymore. And that's where Johan was coming from. If you want to be single and everything is how
You want
Danielle
it to
wants it,
be.
then you be single. You
Right.
do you, boo.
So Taylor then shows up on stage to give his thoughts on everything. Taylor says, what's up? And Johan basically leaves him hanging. And then he
I
says,
know the culture. Didn't you play ball with this man? What's
right.
going on?
So he says his relationship with Danielle obviously is completely platonic. And those days are in the past. Now, I will say that I do think if Taylor felt differently, Danielle might feel differently, but that's just my vibe. Johan is not comfortable that they're in the same city, same studio, and basically said they used to hunch on each other. Why would I be comfortable with that? He brings up how Danielle has pictures of him in the house, and he thinks that there's still an interest there, and he's the stupid one. I said, well, damn. Danielle tries to apologize if she calls him hurt, but says, she wants him to feel secure and know that, no one else is a threat. And if that's how she got it, then she just can't do it. Cause yeah, she just can't do it. And she ain't willing to do it. So Johan makes it clear that he explained to Danielle once she brought Taylor into the relationship that he was done.
It went from sugar to shit.
He said it would be consequences. And he says when the lease is up, he wants to go his separate ways. Now, here's the funny part, Johan. If I was Danielle, who's paying most of this rent?
He said,
Now, Johan claims he's paying it, but we all know, I think he makes $90 or something like that.
and I don't know if he makes that. I think he was willing to give her that. But he said that he pays half. Because remember before he was like, oh, I pay it. But then she was like, you pay it? And he was like, I send you half. And we go, I guess they go 50-50.
Oh,
which is not providing. Y'all are roommates.
Yeah. So no, Danielle basically isn't really sure where her relationship stands with him. And she doesn't know what it'll be like when she gets home. And that was pretty much what it sounds like. He's done. And I think he was done from the moment she said she was staying in DR.
He was crazy because she even tried to say they need to go to therapy. He said, I ain't doing it. He's like, I ain't doing shit. We're done. He said, I ain't even got to talk to you no more.
Why?
Don't hit my line after
why? So we can kick coconuts around the apartment, and I don't want to do your
right. Her type of thing. True. I didn't even think about that. I'm thinking about sitting on a couch.
Not the standard.
I was thinking about sitting on a couch. You right. Yeah, he said nope.
But I don't want to do it with Alibaba. No, I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, no. So yeah, everybody leaves. Jen ain't sure what her relationship with Rishi will be. Osama says his goodbyes to Debbie. Debbie says she feels bad for Osama and says that she feels like she can forgive him, but it would take a lot for her to get her back to Morocco. It won't. Nicole claims she no longer is going to feed in Mahmoud's insecurities. I think that's untrue. And I actually heard words that Mahmoud is in America. So won't be surprised if we see them again. This is probably how she's gonna pay to make sure he stays paid. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I didn't really have a recap. Jamie and Chris, they done. And Jamie needs to be done. Did I miss anybody?
Girl, I said
Oh, and Gabe and Isabel, they in love and they happy. We know that.
I ended it with Sean wished them the best and sent them on their way. I ain't even getting none of that.
No. Well, y'all, that was pretty much the close of that season of 90 Day the Other Way. I'm sure in about a year from now, we'll get a new couple of fools, as I always say, to be introduced to, or we'll be following some of the same fools. But if you have not already, please, please, please make sure that you have hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG, because we got some cute things coming, some reviews and things that we be doing out and about in these streets.
Yeah.
You know, the summer wine will cranks up and TV winds down. We'll be bringing you a little bit different content. So yes, we appreciate you guys.
Still reviews though, still reviews.
But yeah, we'll be bringing y'all some more stuff and more experiences and things we're doing. So like I said, we will catch y'all next season, and we will catch y'all for the new season of 90 Day before the 90 days starting tonight. So yeah, we'll circle the block in a few. Love y'all. Have a good night and have a great week. Bye-bye.